Hello, everyone. I all hope you had a very, very beautiful and a very blessed weekend and a very, very great day indeed. Very grateful for your support in viewing and watching my episodes, guys. It completely means a lot to me. Completely, literally means a lot to me. So God bless you all. As you can see, guys, the sky is quietly still very much beautiful as it is exactly today. I don't know exactly what the weather looks like on your guys' side, but on my side, the weather is quietly beautiful. But you never know. You never know this weather, guys. It's on and also completely off these days. But anyway, guys, today I'm about to tell you about about a powerful group of superheroes known as the Universal Founders, who are also members of the Universal Heroes, who are also quietly led by Noah, who comes from a different world and from a different planet, and also from a different universe as well. The members of the Universal Founders are Noah, Kara, and also Henry. These are the three universal founding heroes who are exactly the official members of the Universal Heroes as well, who act as a sacred as a secret sacred as a secret covert team of universal heroes who exactly fight against the forces of evil and sinister threats of the sacred world and of the known universe as well in the process. So let's get to it. In the early lives, Noah and Kara and also Henry, they were raised by the sacred masters of the sacred world in order to learn to control their powers and their abilities and their powers and their abilities at the time, where they were able to exactly rose into the occasion, where they successfully rose into the occasion and their powers completely able to rise in the occasion at the time they completely gained full control of their powers and of their abilities at the time. Noah exactly came to realize that the universal heroes might need more backup and they might need more resources, more sacred resources to fight against the forces of evil and against the sinister threats of the sacred world and of the sacred universe as well, in order to protect and save humanity and the supernatural and the aliens and the superhumans in the process as well. Kara completely agreed with Noah, and so did Henry, that together they can become the new Universal Founders, where they help the Universal Heroes in fighting against the sinister forces of evil that wreak havoc and chaos throughout the mortal plane, and also throughout the sacred world, and also throughout the known universe as well. To do this to exactly happen, Noah and Henry and Kara exactly met up with the sacred masters and told them that they'll be going off in order to meet up with the universal heroes, to into announcing themselves as the universal founders, who exactly deal in secretive battles and conflicts, and with the goal to restoring peace and harmony to the sacred world and also to the known universe in the process as well. The sacred masters completely agreed with Noah and Kara and Henry's proposal, and they decided to give them their blessings and the support as well, saying that the universal founders will be exactly receiving help and also aid from their respective goals and missions to restoring sacred peace and balance and as well harmony to the process as well, which Henry and Noah and Kara were very, very, very thankful and very quietly grateful for the sacred master's support and wishes for their mission and also for their goals as well. They met up with the Universal heroes within the asteroid base, when they formally introduced themselves as Noah and Kara, stated to Grayson that they are the Universal founders and that they exactly will also aid them in their respective missions and goals to saving humanity and the supernatural community and the aliens and the alien community and the superhuman community in the process from all sinister threats and all forces of evil and as well. Grayson, the new Universal Man, was very quietly enlightened and very quietly pleased that he found new allies, and he told the Universal founders that the Universal heroes will also aid them and support them in their respective missions to restoring sacred peace and sacred balance, and also sacred harmony throughout the sacred world and throughout the realm of humanity as well. And they completely shook hands as leaders, as Grayson and also as Noah as the leaders of their team, and remarked of their partnership, stated from here on out they are partners and they are hereby remain partners, and they are completely exactly able to aid each other on their respective goals to restoring sacred peace and balance to the sacred world and also to the sacred universe, and fighting sinister threats and powerful super criminals and powerful sinister warlords and warlocks who are wreaking havoc on a greater, larger scale. But before they can exactly depart, the new universal man known as Grayson Ferris Unity told Noah that in return that they will exactly able to aid them and also give them backup if they ever need backup or any help or any resources. The universal heroes will supply them with more backup and with more resources, and they will also respectively aid them on their respective missions to restoring sacred peace and harmony as well in the process. Noah was quite completely proud and stated to Grayson that that's exactly all they needed, that's exactly all they required, and only that they needed, and that all that they needed was the support and also helping hand, and the Universal founders will continue supporting the Universal Heroes and the United Heroes and the World Heroes and the Universal Earth Heroes on their respective missions and goals, and then I'll also serve as a backup, and they'll also serve as a backup and also as resources as themselves as well. They completely shook hands last time, and Grayson was completely proud and very happy that he found a new brother and also a new member of the Universal Heroes as well. On the 19th of January, the Universal founders investigate an entire Shadow Empire factory which was ruled by the Shadow Empire warlord and commanders who were creating heavy, powerful, deadly super weapons. The Universal founders decided to destroy the factory and also to exactly destroy it in order to slow down the process and also the planning of the Shadow Empire warlords, which they successfully able to do so. They destroyed the entire factory, fought against every other Shadow Empire warlord and commander within the facility, and destroyed it completely with the new founding powers and the abilities. And they were completely happy that the factory was destroyed and that it slowed down the process of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders from creating new weapons and new powerful, sinister, dark, destructive weapons and technology in a process that could destroy and leave chaos behind its work as well. On the 29th of January, the Universal founders completely met up within their new central headquarters, which was in a beautiful world and a beautiful planet, where they were able to exactly discuss the planning and operation in order to slowing down the Shadow Empire warlords commanders operation, and in also successfully able to taking them down. But before that can exactly happen, they received intelligence and new information from the Universal Monster Heroes, who exactly gave them the new information, stated that there are new, powerful, sinister threats that are wreaking greater havoc than the Shadow Empire warlords than ever before. And these new sinister threats are the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, the Order of the 12, and also the founders, the Unholy Alliance, and the Sacred Circle and Sacred Five as well. These new powerful groups of supervillains are the ones wreaking all the havoc and all the chaos that they're creating, and also the powerful dark magic users as well, such as the Dark Druid, and the powerful magic users are the one also behind the chaos that they are completely creating, and then also leaving destruction and death behind its wake as well. Despite that, the Universal founders were completely quietly conflicted and very quietly terrified of the news that there are new, powerful, sinister, and new ancient groups of supervillain groups that have existed for many centuries, and they are the reason that the Sacred Galactic War is still going on, and the monsters that are intending to wipe out humanity and the Four Nation Hunters, between the war of the Four Nation Hunters and between the monsters that is still going on. They have to exactly aid the Four Nation Hunters and help the other heroes restore peace and balance, meaning by fighting these new sinister threats and taking down these new groups of supervillains as well in the process. The Universal founders were completely surprised by the intelligence, and they decided in order to create a hologram of worlds and planets, and also cities and planets, and worlds and civilization, in order to find out exactly where do these sinister threats exactly operate from, in order to destroy the operation. But their mission still exactly holds purpose in slowing down the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders operation from creating new destructive weapons and powerful weapons that could leave death and destruction behind its wake as well. On the 1st of February, news of the original Lord of Magic's death created a power vacuum within the Shadow Empire, itself, forcing every other Shadow Empire warlord and commander to exactly fighting for the Shadow Empire's throne. And some of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders secretly formed an alliance with ancient groups of supervillains, such as the Outer Circle, such as the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, the Founders, Sacred Five, the Unholy Alliance, and also the Sacred Circle, and also the sacred circle as well in the process, in return to supply them with destructive and powerful technology. In return, these ancient groups of supervillains will supply them with more worlds and with more planets, will supply them with more worlds and with more planets as part of the deal. Despite that, the universal founders decided, in order to exactly stop the Shadow Empire warlords from conquering vast worlds and vast civilization with the power vacuum that is quietly completely created. On the 8th of February, the Universal Founders stumble upon a Shadow Empire warlord who's already launching a full-scale attack on another alien world, who's already planning to conquer it and claim control of it in order to fight for the throne, in order to fight for the Shadow Empire's throne, so that he could become the new leader of the Shadow Empire. Despite that, the Universal Founders stopped his operation and completely sabotaged his plans before he destroyed the entire world and the entire alien world and also the rest of the civilization. In doing so, the Shadow Empire warlord was completely very much angry and very much quietly pissed off the interference, and he decided to take matters into his own hands by using his battle cruiser to decimate and destroy the alien cities in the process. The Universal Founders used a spaceship in order to battle against a battle cruiser of the Shadow Empire warlord, and which was successfully able to taking it down and destroying it in the process. The Shadow Empire warlord was completely decimated and completely destroyed within the blast of the battle cruiser, and he couldn't barely exactly survive the destruction of the battle cruiser since he was quietly within it. Despite that, the Universal Founders exactly reassured the inhabitants of the alien world that the Universal Founders are the sacred group of the Universal Heroes, acting on the behalf of the Universal Heroes, willing to restore goodwill and good faith to the sacred world, and also to the sacred universe, and also to the known universes, and also to alien worlds and supernatural worlds and magical worlds, and also to the superhuman race by any means. And the aliens of the alien world were completely happy and very much completely proud, stated that they could exactly use their services and their resources into restoring peace and balance and harmony to the sacred world and also to the sacred universe as well in the process. On the 14th of February, the Universal Founders exactly met up with the Universal Monster Heroes, telling them that their mission is quietly still exactly holds purpose into liberating many worlds and many planets and many civilizations that are completely under the control of the Shadow Empire. Despite this, exactly the Universal Monster Heroes exactly shared the information and also the intelligence to the Universal Founding Heroes, stated that they could exactly need more information to take down the sinister threats and also powerful groups of ancient supervillains, which they decided in return to exactly supply each other with information and also on intelligence as well to taking down the enemy. On the 19th of February, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders decided, in order to take matters into their own hands by exactly conquering many more worlds and many more civilization, by launching a full-scale invasion on the other worlds and other civilization, and the Intergalactic Coalition intercepted a huge fleet of battle cruisers and warships exactly approaching from the entire space sector headed on a warpath of a conquest to conquer known worlds and known civilization. Despite this, the Universal Founders exactly intervened and helped the Intergalactic Coalition battle against the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders that were successfully able to take them down and successfully able to destroy their battle cruisers and also their warships in the process, and they were able to take the enemy straightly into custody, and some of the other enemies and operatives were successfully able to escape, but the others were ultimately taken into custody and sentenced directly into the Astro Prison to remain in the Astro Prison, a prison designed to house super criminals and super villains and rogue evil warlords and rogue evil druids and dark powerful magic users in a process for wreaking havoc and chaos, and also super criminals as well. They apprehended several enemies during the attack, and some of them were able to escape. Despite this, the Universal Founders told the Intergalactic Coalition that they will always exactly remain as resources and also as backup to the Intergalactic Coalition, in order to serving as backup to their goals, in order to liberating and saving more worlds and more planets from the Shadow Empire's control by any means necessary. And the Intergalactic Coalition of the Four Nation Hunters shook hands with Noah, stated to him that exactly marks of a partnership, meaning that the universal monster heroes and the universal space heroes also as well exactly reserved as a partners and also as friends and allies, and they also see the universal founders as well as allies and as also as good friends to their common cause and also to their common goals as well. On the 1st of March, the Universal founders exactly entered on an abandoned world where they didn't realize that they were highly ambushed by a group of supervillains and assassins and operatives who were quietly hired by the Order of the Five to secretly wipe them out as the bad guys reveal themselves and highly equipped with Shadow Empire technology, highly equipped with Shadow Empire destructive technology in order to wipe out the Universal founders once and for all. Despite this, the Universal founders exactly took on the bad guys and swiftly take them down. And they ultimately captured several key enemies and all the other operatives, and they were ultimately sentenced into the Astral Prison to remain in the Astral Prison in custody for their crimes against the rest of sacred existence and against the rest of the sacred worlds as well. Despite this, the Universal founders became to realize that they're fighting against their most powerful, vulnerable, dark, and formidable enemy who's more powerful and who's more well organized, who has more resources and more connections within the sacred underworld and within the rest of sacred existence. Despite this, they have to exactly come up with a strategy and with a new plan in order to take them down and in order to neutralize the threat once and for all. On the 20th of February, the Universal founders exactly began combining the information. No, not exactly on the 20th of February. On the 10th of March, the Universal founders began combining the information and also the intelligence as well in order to find out exactly where the dark magic users are configurately exactly headed on another world and also on another planet where they were able to combine their dark magic and ability in order to absorb and extract and harvest the unlimited amounts of magical energy and power, where the Universal founders exactly came on time in order to intervene to preventing the enemy from harvesting the limited amounts of magical energy and power and light energy in the process, which they're completely able to destroy, in which they're completely able to fight against the dark magic users and keep them down, and in decimating some of them. Some of them were able to quickly to escape as Kara realized that the dark magic users are currently under the current leadership of a powerful dark witch or a very sinister dark witch at all. Noah completely agreed, and so did Henry as well. They returned throughout the central headquarters on the 1st of April in order to exactly combining the intelligence and the information, realizing there are rumors circulating about a powerful sinister dark witch known as Mother Witch, who is a very powerful ancient evil that has existed throughout the sacred world and the sacred universe for many centuries and for many, many, many years. Despite this, Carl realizes that the Mother Witch is a very powerful dark witch and who's also very, very ruthless and very cruel, and that she could be the reason for all this chaos and for all this chaos and for all destruction. But Henry realizes that the Mother Witch is very clever and very smart in order to keep her bases of operation well secretive and very much quietly secretive and very much quietly hidden in order for her not to be located or to be located or to be tracked down. Despite this, exactly, Kara and Noah completely agreed that they have to take down her forces and neutralize her forces, and also to taking down all of them completely before they exactly began heading on their next mission. An emergency exactly appeared on the radar, stating that there's another rogue Shadow Empire commander who's headed for a mission for destruction, to destroying other worlds and other planets, and the Universal founders were forced to intervene as well in order to stop the enemy from destroying a helpless world and a helpless planet full of all the creatures, full of all the community of all the creatures between the supernatural and the aliens, and as well the superhumans as well in the process. They went ahead of the enemy and completely arrived on the planet in order to stop the Shadow Empire commander from destroying the planet and also from destroying the world in the process. On the 11th of April, the enemy completely arrived with these battle cruiser already preparing enough to destroy the planet and the rest of its inhabitants. The Universal founders combined the abilities and the light magical abilities and power in order to overpower the enemy. They were able to protect the planet and the rest of the civilization with their magical powers and the ability, which created a huge magical force field throughout the rest of the planet and able to protect it. They used the energy of the force, they used the energy of the magical force field in order to attack the enemy completely head on, and the Shadow Empire commander was completely decimated. They reassured the inhabitants of the world and of the planet that the enemy has been neutralized and hereby being destroyed, but the inhabitants completely warned them that the enemy is still out there at large and that they're really rising and ascending into power quickly, as they told them about the new Lord of Magic who's completely rising and ruling and forming a new Shadow Empire that will soon exactly overrule and overpower the original Shadow Empire completely. Despite this, the Universal Founders returned to their central headquarters of their bases of operation, where they were able to exactly connect the dots about the new Lord of Magic, who's completely ruling and exactly ruling and also exactly highly in command and rising in the shadows and ruling from the shadows of the sacred world, and also recruiting powerful associates in order to join his new sinister society known as the Order of Power, with the goal to decimate and wipe out the supernaturals and the aliens and the superhumans and the universal heroes and the sacred heroes of the sacred world, and also to conquer and rule and recreate the sacred world and the sacred universe in the process, in his new image and also in his new era and in his new glory, bringing forth the age of darkness in the process. The Universal Founders exactly realize that they are up against the most powerful, deadliest enemy, and that the original Shadow Empire is currently led by another powerful supervillain known as Red Bolt, who's a founder and a leader of the Dark Order as well, another group of powerful supervillains as well, who are willing to wage war with the Star Empire for sole control over the sacred universe and over the known universe. The Universal Founders realizing that the sacred world and the sacred universe is completely at against its darkest time by fighting up against its greatest and most powerful, biddable enemy. But Noah exactly had an idea in order to draw out the enemy and the threats from within the shadows in order to take them out and also to preferably take them down as well. On the 20th of April, the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders were heavily equipped with destructive and powerful technology on the abandoned worlds and planets, ready to take down and remove the Universal Founders out of the way completely, and a way that the Universal Founders are the ones who orchestrated the ambush and are the ones who are completely able to take them down. They completely battle against the enemy completely take down the enemy and completely neutralize the enemy and completely taken several of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders into custody, and ultimately sending them straightly into the astral prison to remain there for their crimes against the rest of the sacred world and against the rest of humanity as well. In the process, they were able to confiscate the Shadow Empire's destructive technology and able to use that technology against the enemy as well. On the 10th of May, the Universal Founders completely began to realize that the dark magic users are highly operating again and at the beginning in order to create a successful operation that could completely destroy worlds and planets in the process. The Universal Founders decided in order to intervene, in order to take matters into their own hands, and they decided to do so. On the 11th of May, the Universal Founders completely arrived on a planet, looking at the asteroid base that's quietly hovering above the skies of the planet, realizing that the dark magic users are planning a sinister dark ritual that could destroy the world or leave death and destruction behind it. And they decided in order to exactly fight against the enemy head on. This time, they exactly showed no mercy as they took down the dark magic users and completely taking them down completely heavily decimated some of them. Some of the other dark magic users were completely able to escape, but the others were completely able to be taken down and decimated within the battle. The Universal Founders completely confiscated their technologies and all their research and all their powers as Kara and the rest of the Universal Founders returned to their central headquarters, able to combining the dark knowledge and all the dark knowledge and all the texts and all the books the dark magic users were completely studying, and they realized that their enemies were completely heavily obsessed with shadow energy and as well as its power for immortality and power. Noah realizes they have to exactly travel to the dark universe in order to know more about shadow energy and also in its secrets and its powers and its abilities as well. On the 12th of June, the Universal Founders exactly arrived in the dark universe, realizing that the dark universe is still under the control of over the fallen, who is a very powerful ancient force of evil, who's completely banished from the sacred universe and from the sacred world, and who's completely exactly remaining on the dark universe for his crimes, from creating chaos and destruction in its wake as well. But his dark empire is under the current leadership over the dark queen, and over his sons and daughters and children as well, and over the commanders. Despite this, the Universal Founders realizes that the dark empire of the fallen is still highly operating and is still exactly successfully planning to conquer and reclaim its rightful place within the cosmos, willing to create chaos and carnage and destruction upon its wake. Despite this, they learn more about the secrets of shadow energy from the other dark magic users, and powerful magic users, and are able to combine the intellect and knowledge and everything else, as Carl realizes that they have to create a summoning bearer in order to summon shadow energy and all its power within at the source as well. On the 21 of June, Kara and the Universal Founders exactly combine their power and their ability in order to summon the dark energy known as shadow energy from another dark dimension, which they were able to conjure in order to summon, and they completely summoned it. But the shadow energy was completely overrun and controlled by hostility creatures known as the dark entities that were completely overrunning it. They were successfully able to contain the shadow energy, able to know more about its power and its secrecy and all its abilities, realizing that shadow energy can completely corrupt, and it can also completely tempt, and also can also completely lead to temptation in order to corrupt in the person, to infuse with it, and also to becoming one with it. Despite this, Noah and Henry realize that shadow energy is not meant to be infused or to be controlled or to be combined with or to be successfully to be merged with its power and with its dark knowledge. It is completely powerful and totally deadly and very destructive as well. On the 1st of July, the Universal Founders return to their home world, where they were able to meet up with the Sacred Masters, telling them all they can about the secrets of shadow energy. And the Sacred Masters were completely terrified and very scared of shadow energy, realizing that it's a power not meant to be used or not meant to infuse with, as it possesses greater dark power and greater dark energy at the cost of losing your sanity and your serenity and your compassion and your humanity, at the cost of it, since they quietly experienced it and quietly seen it in persons, what it did to Laurel and Amber when it made them to become the villains and the monsters as exactly as they're known for today, as the Sacred Masters have completely tell them the story about Laurel and Amber, who became the most powerful, sinister, dark force of evil ever existed throughout the rest of the sacred universe. Despite this, Noah and Henry and Kara exactly completely agreed that shadow energy is a very powerful, dark source of power, and it should never be held to be attempted with as well, completely. On the 15th of July, the Universal Founders exactly returned to the central headquarters of the Universal Heroes, able to tell them that their mission exactly greatly took purpose, and they were able to liberate countless worlds and planets, and that telling the Universal Heroes that their mission exactly consistently still exactly holds purpose. Despite that, Universal Men told the Universal Founders that they should keep their eye tabs and also keeping tabs on also monitoring the Red Empire that's quite completely still exactly about to rise from the shadows and willing to take over where the Shadow Empire completely left off. And the Universal Founders completely agree with Universal Men that is exactly what they're willing to do, to take down their enemies and also neutralizing and thwarting their plans before they can exactly bear fruit. And they completely hug each other and completely said that they are officially the members of the Universal Heroes as well. Despite this, guys, the Universal Founding Heroes are very, very, very compassionate beings who come from different worlds and from different planets, who exactly respect life and all of humanity, and exactly respect the supernatural community and the alien community and the superhuman community, willing to protect it by fighting against their greatest and most powerful enemies and by taking them down completely. Their greatest and most powerful enemy is Mother Witch, and also the Order of the Five, and also the founders, the Unholy Alliance, Sacred Five, the Shadow Empire Warlords and Commanders, and the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches, willing to stop them and willing to take them down by any means necessary, and to restore peace and balance, and harmony to the sacred world and to the rest of the known universe in the process. Despite this, the universal founders are completely compassionate and very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, and agility. They're quietly led by Noah, who comes from a different world and from a different planet, and the members of Kara and also Henry, who also come from different worlds and different planets, from the other sacred universes and from the other known universes as well, and who are willing to protect those worlds and those planets, and they officially are the members of the universal heroes, willing to successfully working with them in order to restore peace and balance to the sacred world and also to the sacred universe in the process. Despite this, they care so much about the supernatural community and the alien community and the superhuman community and the rest of sacred existence and the Four Nation Hunters, and are willing to help those communities exactly fight against the forces of evil that are willing to tear down the peace and that are willing to exactly sabotage the fragile peace that the communities have quietly created for many centuries ago, and are willing to exactly restore relations and also peace and prosperity to the sacred world and also to the sacred universe and also to humanity. And they're willing to protecting humanity and mankind from all forces of evil and from all the biggest, baddest, and the worst of the worst, such as the new Lord of Magic, the Dark King, Dark Grey, Lord Shadow Jack, and also Lord Winter King, Lord Justin, the Shadow Empire Warlords and Commanders, the Order of the Five, and the Order of the Six, and the Order of the Seven, and also the Unholy Alliance, and the Sacred Circle, and Sacred Five as well, willing to take down those enemies and those powerful ancient groups of supervillains from wreaking chaos and havoc and destruction, and are willing to neutralize their greatest competitor and are willing to stop their greatest and most formidable enemy, known as Mother Witch, who's a very powerful dark witch and has existed for many years and for many centuries. According to Kara, his intelligence and knowledge, Mother Witch is a very powerful dark witch who's very ruthless and very cruel and very, very ambitious, willing to exactly further her own goals and her own plans to conquering and ruling the rest of sacred existence and the known worlds of the sacred universe. Despite this, guys, the universal founders are willing to do whatever it takes to protecting the rest of sacred existence and the rest of the known universe by any means necessary. They are the official members of the universal heroes. Now, well, guys, that's it for today. I'll exactly see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful and blessed evening and afternoon. Enjoy your evening and your afternoon as well. Take care and also have a blessed day. Bye. Bye.